Boxing is at a crossroads, with Tyson Fury stepping away and Canelo moving toward the twilight of a storied career. The legends are fading, and the sport needs its next global star. Some fighters shout for attention, while others chase clout online. But my next guest, he lets his punches do the talking, and right now they're making a compelling case for just how far he can go in the fight game. Vergil Ortiz is 27 years old, undefeated at 23-0 with 21 knockouts, and he's already torn through names like 𝐒𝐰𝐸𝐸 and Israel Madrimov at super welterweight. On Saturday, he's back against Erickson Lubin in a fight built for fireworks. This is Combat X with Alan Dawson, and you can catch us on Roku, Fubo, Vizio, Xumo, Sling, and right here on YouTube. Hit like, smash subscribe so we can keep bringing you the biggest names in combat sports, and they don't get much bigger than Ortiz.
This is the next young man who will fill up this stadium. He is 18 years old. He is the next Golden Boy promotion sensation, Vergil Ortiz Jr.
What's happening, Vergil? It's great to see you again. Especially as I know it's the start of a fight week. How are you doing? You know, just 6 days away from a return to the ring with Golden Boy on DAZN.
I'm good. I'm ready to go. I've been here at home for like a week already, and yeah, you just put in the final touches, and we're ready to go Saturday.
You know, I've followed your career for a while. We've spoken before also about you being the face of the Golden Boy roster. But when I look at your career, you know, this resume you're building, it's step by step, sneakily building to over Mean Machine, 𝐸𝐸 in a fight of the year, Madrimov, and now Lubin. I've heard people at Golden Boy say before about this culture in the promotion, about, you know, kind of running towards the fire, because it goes back to Oscar De La Hoya and how he ran his own fight career. Has there ever been any messaging to you from Golden Boy about the way that your career is going, or did you always want to have a career like this where you keep on, you know, taking on banger after banger and winning?
I think we both felt each other's energy. We both want to fight the best. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here to fight and get paid. And that's like, I'm here to fight. I want the fans to enjoy the fights. I love the energy when they love the fights. I like being a part of those big spectacles, you know. And the fights are only going to get bigger from here. So, it makes me that much more motivated to take on these tougher challenges.
Yeah, I mean, your career is in such a hot spot because I feel like you've already achieved so much, and you've already got like some incredible wins already behind you. And you've mentioned about the spectacle, and I really feel like fans are drawn to you because of the way, one, the way that you fight, and two, the fights and the opponents that you take on. But how important is it for you to return now, you know, to this arena, you know, in Fort Worth? After 3 years away, you've headlined, you know, so many other arenas throughout the States, but you're kind of back home in front of your own fans. What does it mean to, you know, kind of put on the shows that we expect from Vergil Ortiz in front of these hometown fans of yours on Saturday?
Yeah, all right. You know, it means a lot. I haven't fought here since it's been like 3 years, almost 4 years. So I'm sure that the fans here, you know, have been starving for a fight. So I'm very happy to oblige and give them a fight, and it's a good one too, man. I'm really excited for this one. I can't wait to see how it plays out.
I think when I think of Erickson Lubin, there was one fight I was ringside for of his that was, for me, the fight of the year when it happened in 2022. It was against Sebastian Fundora. He lost it, but it was a absolute war. Both guys were on the floor. Is that the kind of fight that you like relishing in as well, having these kind of firefights? And do you expect Lubin to kind of bring that kind of firefight energy on Saturday?
I mean, I hope I don't end up on the floor for sure. Now, that's not what I want. But as far as a firefight like that, I mean, yeah, for sure. You know, you know, like I said, it's very exciting. Just, you know, if you think you're excited watching those fights, imagine actually being inside. You know, one of those fighters that's actually part of it. You know, it's 100 times more invigorating being a part of that. And hearing people cheer you on is you know, it's just a different feeling that you really can't describe or know unless you're in it.
Yeah, like I said, I visited you once in it was Robert Garcia's old facility. I know he's got a new one there, but I remember being there, and just Oscar Duarte was there. I think Bam Rodriguez was there that week. I didn't see him that day. But the camp that you're in and the team that you've been a part of, you're surrounded by champions as well. What sort of training partners and sparring partners have you had in this camp that you feel has, kind of made you be able to level up, for this fight in particular?
Well, we've been sparring. I'm going against a southpaw. I couldn't give you any notable names as far as the average fan would know, but we got some really good sparring in-house, southpaws as well, just to really get what we're actually going to fight against. That's the whole point of sparring, to practice what we're going to fight. So I couldn't tell you, but very solid sparring. They got me ready, and yeah.
There's one thing as well I wanted to share with you. Before I moved to Nevada, when I was back in the UK, I was covering boxing at the time. I was writing an investigation, or a series of them, about a guy called Daniel Kinahan. He was a boxing manager. He was also a suspected, billion-dollar narco-terrorist linked with, some murders. There weren't many people in boxing writing about this at the time outside of Ireland. And I remember even before I'd published the first story, I got a message from a boxing reporter saying I was going to wake up in a body bag. And then as I started publishing these investigations, I was getting messages, comments I saw about death, even mentioning my family. It kind of made me think, why, what do people get about sending these kind of messages? But I saw you've been getting messages like that recently too. How did that make you feel?
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really care a whole lot. Like, it didn't affect me, but it was more like, all right, you wanna say stuff like that. I'm gonna put it on the spotlight so people can see who you really are.
Yeah,
that's really all it was. People are all talk on social media. They love to talk. They love to be behind the safety of their screens, whether it's a computer screen, their phone screen. They love the anonymity. It's they feel safe. They would never do it in public. So I'm not really worried about it. I'm very sad to hear that you got that as well. People are crazy. That's why I'm like, even when you're driving, like, why get in a road race with someone that you don't know what they're capable of? You don't know how stupid people are. You know what I mean? People there's a difference between brave and just straight up stupid. And the world is full of stupid people. So I just try my best not to let it get the best of me or whatever. Because if you allow someone to actually have that much control over you, because that's what they're doing, have that much control over you emotionally, then they own you. And so, I don't let people own me. I own myself. I control my actions. I don't let other people dictate what I'm going to do. So I just try to keep that mindset.
I think it's a great attitude to have, because I think, when I think of you, I really feel like there's a few fighters at Golden, but I really feel like are quite ambassadorial for the sport. And you epitomize that. You live your life like a champion in and outside of the ring. There's no scandal with Vergil Ortiz. You're a guitar-loving, quite sweetheart outside of the ropes, but then inside the ropes, you're an absolute savage. I just don't. I think it's strange to even send those messages in the first place, but as well to send them to someone like you who doesn't really, get involved in unnecessary shit talk. Have you ever had anything like that before? Do you feel like it's kind of like as your fame is developing and your superstar status is kind of like here right now? Is this the first kind of time it's happened, or have you had kind of like those kind of ugly messages before from heated rivalries or opposition fans or anything like that?
Maybe not to that extent. I've had people say, "Oh, I hope you get knocked out," or there's a difference between saying, I hope my guy wins, I hope he loses, or whatever. That's different between saying wishing death upon someone or hoping someone goes to the hospital. It's just, I don't know, sad.
Yeah, I think it is. I think I don't know what can be done about it, but yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a social media thing where the toxicity that kind of permeates through some of these platforms just doesn't, the thing is, the person that probably sent that would be the first person to line up and want a picture with you. And I think another person that might want a picture with you this weekend, I heard Jaron Ennis might be ringside for this fight. Have you heard that? Do you think him and Eddie Hearn are going to be there to kind of scout, you know, this potential super fight that we could see in 2026?
Yeah, it sounds like they are going to be there, and it doesn't bother me. You know, I'm there to take care of Lubin, and that's it.
I wanted to get an image in your head, because some fighters kind of go one way or another when it comes to this kind of you know, potential when there is a future opponent in the ring. But, you know, let's say you take care of business, you get your hand raised, and as you're about to do your post-fight speech, you know, Jaron is coming into the ring. You know, do you face off with him for that promo, or do you see it as disrespect to kind of take, you know, what should be your moment for, you know, celebrating that win? How do you feel about, you know, that kind of possibility?
I don't know. As far as right now, I'm not even looking past that, because to even get to that point, I have to win, you know? So I'm not looking ahead at anything. Like I said, if they want to come to the fight, anyone, it's a public event. They're free to do what they wish. You know, that's really just how I see it. You know, they're a spectator, and they're a spectator from the start of the show until the end of the show. So it like I said, it doesn't bother me. They can do what they want.
I really wish you the best of luck on Saturday. I always like speaking to you. You know, you've always been so welcoming, you know, coming in and seeing you in the gym workout. I appreciate those moments with you, and this one too. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you take care of business once again on Saturday, champ.
Awesome. Thank you.